So today I wanted to talk to you about words and what words really mean about ourselves when we use them about ourselves, okay? Specifically, the word cynical. So sometimes you will hear a person say, I'm a bit cynical about this or about that, right? Oh, that was good. I'm a bit cynical about cleaning out my ears while I'm recording a video. So, just wanted to share that real moment with you. Well, let's take a look at the definition of cynicism. Okay. Cynicism is an attitude characterized by a general distrust of others' motives. A cynic may have a general lack of faith or hope in the human species or people motivated by ambition, desire, greed, gratification, materialism, goals, and opinions that a cynic perceives as vain, unobtainable, or ultimately meaningless, and therefore deserving of ridicule or admonishment. Okay? So, the real question that I like to pose to people is, what do you feel is holding you back from getting into and keeping that healthy relationship? Okay? Now, when I ask this to some people, what they'll say is, well, there are not enough good quality men in my area. There are not enough good quality women in my area. They're not, the dating sites are all horrible. They're all terrible, right? So on and so forth. And because of that, I've become a bit of a cynic when it comes to the world of dating, right? Now, one of the things that you can do in order to get into and keep a healthy, loving relationship is look at the words that you use to describe yourself and really take a strong look of what that says about you. So if a person says, I'm cynical about dating, I'm cynical about this, I'm cynical about that, what they're really saying is, I distrust others, others' motives, and what they're trying to achieve in the world of dating and relationships, right? So now let's take that to the next level. What does that mean that you distrust others? You have obviously experienced pain in relationships, and either people have lied to you or people have treated you in a way where they're not faithful, or these websites that you've gone on, people aren't legitimate, all making perfect sense. Now, what that does for your mind, okay, is it's almost as if your mind has a judge sitting with the gavel, listening to a defense attorney and really taking in all of what the defense attorney has to say in terms of the positive elements and the prosecuting attorney. And it weighs it out constantly. So when you have an experience that is negative, the prosecutor says, see, this is bad, and this is bad, and you got hurt, and you got hurt, and you got hurt, and you got hurt, and you got hurt. So slowly but surely, the defense attorney tries to throw in, well, why don't we give it a try? Or why don't you see that there are people out there? But slowly and surely, the defense attorney's case gets shrunk. And the defense attorney's case, almost like the defense attorney becomes a mute because it realizes that the prosecutor in the brain is way too powerful. The prosecutor has actually already proven her case or his case. And all it's doing is taking these experiences and putting it on the side of, I told you, open, shut, open shut. And the judge bangs down and says, yep, all dates are painful. All relationships suck. All websites, all dating sites are horrible. You cannot trust these websites. So it actually is quite difficult for many people to take a step back and look at what's going on in their mind and see how the prosecutor has basically left the building. Like there's no need to prove the case anymore because it's done deal, right? Well, there is something that you can do. Okay, there is something that you can do. And I know I gave this little analogy of the judge and what you can do is be aware that this is actually going on in your mind. And you could be conscious of the words that you use to describe yourself, right? When you say that you're cynical about dating, you're cynical about relationships, you're cynical, yes, you've experienced pain, there's no question. But what that really is saying is that you're cynical about yourself. Because often what we say about the world out there is what we really feel about ourselves inside. Take it on the opposite level. A really confident person, okay, a really secure person doesn't have to go out into the world and start to say, I'm really confident, I'm really secure. They just are. What they project to the world is what they feel on the inside, right? So when you're walking around saying, this person's not trustworthy, this world is not trustworthy, you need to almost turn the mirror around and say, wait a second, I'm not trusting myself. I don't believe in myself that I can do this. Now, that can create more negativity on the prosecutor's side. But here's what you can do with that. Now that you're aware that this is what's going on, the world out there you can't change, but the world in here you can, right? When you start to use words that describe yourself from a place of power, I trust myself, I love myself, I care about the world, I care about people out there, it becomes a lot more enjoyable. And the defense attorney starts to rise in the brain. And the defense attorney starts to feel empowered and starts to say, yeah, we've got this. I do trust myself. I have good motives. And when I put that out there into the world, I wind up attracting that exact quality in another.